Hey, everybody. If you offend easily, then your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries. Speaking of which, today I actually learned what the implications of that were, because it never dawned on me to actually research. It was just simply some silly line that was said in Monty Python. There actually was a meaning behind that, and today I learned. Today I learned that apparently the implication was that the mother was easy and the father was a drunk. I didn't know. Now I do. So, today I actually want to talk about St. Allan, okay? Reason being, so y'all know I love St. Allan. I love St. Allan with everything that I am. I don't know how many of y'all have the pleasure and pain that comes from being worshipped by your partner. And I mean, yes, it's being put on a pedestal, but we're talking about kind of really genuine worship here. Like, and I know I look a little worried, and it might sound like, oh, I mean, and yes, it is, but oh, you're gonna complain about being worshipped. That's so great. It is, but I'm also going to bring up some aspects of it. Like okay, Saint Allan and I. Where are you? St. Allan and I have our own chores, and it's very fluid. The chores themselves are very fluid things. It's not always um it's not always that I'm doing only these chores because it's nothing sexist, okay? I at least want to specify it. There's nothing sexist about it. Although it ain't above me to not throw him, like, I will gladly throw him outside and say, hey, go do some yard work. So I don't have to. That ain't got nothing to do with a gender thing. That's specifically because I don't want to go do it myself. So, but y'all, I have my chores and I like my chores. Like shampooing the carpets. I actually really enjoy that chore. Ironing. I really enjoy that chore. Not that ironing gets done that often because we don't require it with our wardrobe. But, you know, now that St. Allan is not, because he's home for the summer because he works the school system, okay? And, y'all, now that he's home, he's taking all my chores. And it's literally a form of worship. It's he has these moments where he doesn't feel like he's worthy of me, and he'll go on this manic wave of trying to do for me. And it's not always as fun as it seems, y'all. I spend enough time struggling with my sense of self to suddenly be without a sense of purpose because he needs to worship me, and it's a form of worship. It's legit a form of worship here. I can't. It's crazy how that works. It's not enough. Like, I mean, one of the forms of worship I do like is that he'll get my morning coffee for me, and it's a must that he must get my coffee for me because it's according to him, it's tribute. And I'm like, okay, all right, I've got enough of an ego to find that, um, you know, ooh, go ahead, worship me with my coffee. And there's other ways he worships me, and I really like those ways too. I'm not. I mean, I feel bad that I'm doing like a little bit of complaining about this, but when I get put on that pedestal, I don't. First off, I don't feel like I deserve to be there. A lot of the times I feel like he should be there for the fact that he puts up with me, and y'all have heard me talk about him that way. So when he decides to put me on that pedestal instead, it's very confusing and a little bit stress inducing because I don't, it makes no sense to me. you know. And he's expressed that it makes no sense to him that I should feel that he's worthy of being put on that pedestal as well, because and I look at it this way. This is the man that's got the stable career. 26 years. 26 years. Stable career. And because of that, I can afford afford to struggle in finding employment, which my bestie and I were talking the other day, and she made reference to just how many layoffs all over the place there have been in our area. And I'm like, oh, I was really kind of taking it personal that there was something wrong with me that was unemployable. And she's pointing out to me, like, I'm like, you know what? Okay. I feel a little bit better. But anyway, so it's because St. Allan is doing all that and allowing and affording me that world. And then he sits there and worships me like I don't get it. And sometimes the worship is frustrating, because then I roam around the house and all my shit's done. And I'm like, well, what do I do now? And I know it may sound fun, like, yay, I've got extra time, but y'all, it means something to me. And don't get me wrong, I'm someone who always tries to find extra time, but it means something to me, and not always in a good way, that there's so much of it. Sure, I like going play Baldur's Gate. I like going and playing Monster Hunter. I like going and playing Sims 4. Like, I like my games. I'm a gamer, I'm a gamer. Although he's the one with all the retro systems, so I'll go and play Phantasy Star. I was playing SimCity Classic the other day, Tomb Raider 2. Like, he's got retro systems, a whole collection of retro systems, because that's one of his hobbies. Old school Atari, Breakout. My best is 4 left on the board, and I'm bound and determined to break that record one day. Um, so we've got some gamerisms in the house here, and I like going and doing my creating. I like doing my art. I like doing my writing, and I'm working on a whole new revamping of my D&D system, and I do my crocheting. So it's not like I can't appreciate the extra time, but it's an overwhelming sense of purposelessness that develops as a result of the worship. And on one hand, I can understand and love and appreciate that he needs to do that for me. And I understand why he needs to do it, and I get where he's coming from. But sometimes it's frustrating. Just sometimes. If I have too much free time on my hand and I didn't actively strive to make it happen, it's a goal of mine. If I don't get to achieve my goal, I get frustrated. And my goal is typically to find free time. So when it's already there, it's just like, well, now what? There needs to be a good, healthy balance. And don't get me wrong, y'all, 65-70% of the time I have a husband. The other 35% of the time I have a worshiper. That is a much bigger responsibility somehow. I don't really know any other way to explain that. I hope it makes sense, because I know St. Allan watches this, but all of this is stuff I've talked to him about, and we've had this conversation, which is why I know where he's coming from. And he knows where I'm coming from, and nothing I'm saying here is going to be a surprise. Okay? We have good communication with one another. Like, I may do a lot of things wrong in life, but I guarantee you, St. Allan, my love for him is not, I do that correctly. All right? So I guess I just kind of wanted to share the perspective with y'all. I hope y'all get it. I hope y'all understand. Well, here's hoping y'all do, for y'all's sake. In the meantime, St. Allan came home with this deck. Like I said, he goes to the thrift stores. He finds stuff, he brings it back. This is called the Practical Witch's Spell Deck. And I'm going to use this rather than a tarot reading. It says 100 spells for love, happiness, and success. And yeah, all this time I've been sitting here going through and just kind of separating them into different categories, shuffling them back into so that I could get random pulls. And what I want to do is I want to pull, I've got 5 minutes left. I want to pull at least one, possibly more little spells here and just share them and, maybe have a talk about it. We'll see. We'll see. The first spell we're going to pull right now. Oh my, it's a love spell. And the very first thing well, that goes ahead and maybe edits the restriction on this video. It's conjuring pleasure. Make a vow to bring forth all of your sensual power. You will radiate passion and be intensely drawn to your lover. Perform this ritual at the next full moon. Collect essential oils, candles, and a drink of your choice. Begin with a blissful bath in oil-scented water. Sit in a darkened room. Raise a cup of jasmine tea, a glass of wine, or whatever your special drink is, and speak this spell aloud. No, we're not trying to invoke, we're just reading. Now I awaken the goddess in me. I surrender to love's power. Tonight I will heat up the night with my fire. As I drink this cup, my juice is flower. I am alive, I am love, and so it is. It's okay, so yeah, that's actually kind of really similar to what I'll do if I want to do a offering to Hera. It'll be an active participation offer, like, hey, the fruits of what you stand for. But it's like I've said with Hera, worshiping Hera, it's the preparation, the oils and the bath water, the candles, the scents, the process of makeup and beautifying. There's a reason that the goddess of marriage is also encouraging some conjunction in the bedroom. So yeah, let's go ahead and pull another one and see what we come up with. I feel like that was all right. Let's see what we get. I'd like something other than a love spell this time. I want something else. It's another love spell. Oh well. Maybe it's trying to tell me something. Maybe it's telling me that I'm just out of my mind and to just stop fussing about the worship. Who knows? So yeah, Merry Meet Attraction Ritual. It says, try this surefire attraction spell. Take a man-shaped mandrake root, commonly available at herbalist and metaphysical shops. And as someone who's worked at one, go to your grocery store and use your imagination. Any statue, photograph, or figure of a man or a woman. Actually, I have a lot of those around the house, specifically in the name and the altar of love. Okay, so I fuss about St. Allan doing the worship, but I'm realizing how much worship I put into it. But my worship comes from, I invoke deities in the name of improving my love and relationship versus I don't know if I'm not really comfortable being treated like the deity. Okay, statue, photograph, or figure of a man or woman. Place it on your altar. Honestly, you could go to the thrift store and use dolls. Place it on your altar and surround it with red and pink rose petals and candles. Place 2 goblets of red wine beside this arrangement and burn candles every night for a week starting on Friday, Venus's day. Sip from one of the goblets and recite. Again, not invoking, just saying. Merry stranger, friend of my heart, merry may we meet again. Hail, fair fellow, friend well met. I share this wine and toast you. It says fair fellow, but I'm sure you can use any substitute, any required expression of a person. I share this wine and toast you as we merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. And merry meet and merry part, what is this, a one-night stand? It would work for that. It's not talking about playing for keeps. Y'all, as someone who has actually figured out love potion number 9, I can tell you don't do it. I have used it 3 times and there's a price to be paid. And it's generally at the cost of you and your heart. So don't do it. You know, treat it like a love spell from Harry Potter. Don't do it. You know, let the worship let any kind of worship be a magic you create, not a magic you create it from within you, not I don't know. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say there. We're just gonna let it ride. All right. I love Saint Allan. Bye, everybody. Because the rest of y'all are questionable. So, bye, everybody.